Right, guys, welcome to tonight's live stream here between the Sharks and the Dragons. The Sharks coming off quite a terrible loss last week, and hoping for a much better performance from the Sharks today. And the Dragons are back to full strength as well. So it's definitely not the same team that lost to the Bulls last week. And hopefully the Sharks are ready for this one because a lot has been said during the week. And a lot has been said after that game as well. So hopefully today the Sharks will do a lot better. So I do have a poll up on my channel, guys, asking, should the Sharks fire Sean Everett? 70% have said yes, and 29% now have said no. So do go out and cast your vote on the channel as well. Let me know what you guys think. There's a lot of pressure on Sean Everett, and especially one person in particular, Kevin Bosch, who's not performed really well the last season or so, had a really bad game last weekend, and hoping to change that today. So let me know in the comment section and on the poll what you guys think of the Shark situation at the moment. We're quickly going to run through the team lineups just to give you guys an idea. For the Sharks in the backline, we've got Anthony Volmink, Banner Cock, Ben Tupaya, Jeremy Ward, Makazola Mapimpi, Kevin Bosch, and Jaden Hendrickse. So not a terribly changed backline. We've got the likes of Anthony Volmink, who had a really quiet game last week. So hopefully he can step up as well. Ben Tupaya hasn't been brilliant for the Sharks since coming. Maurice Lowe being replaced by Jeremy Ward. And then Makazola Mapimpi comes back into the side. And then obviously Jaden Hendrickse will also start at 9. If we have a look at the forwards for the Sharks, Pepsi Buthelezi, Jean-Ray Labuschagne, James Venter, Gerbrand Grobler, Roots Thomas Toy, Bongi Benambi, and Oxnashire. So a couple of changes in the forwards for the Sharks today with no Sia Kulisi or Sikumbuza Noche in the starting lineup. They've all been, the coach says they haven't been demoted, so they've been rotated to the bench. And here is the bench for the Sharks: Kieran van Vuuren, Netuka Machuna, Kucha Machuna, Renil Hiku, Sikumbuza Noche, Sia Kulisi, Grant Williams, and then Buta Chamberlain at number 23. A lot of people expected Buta to actually start this game. And we'll see if Kevin Bosch can really step up today. Byron Knight says, yes. Sakabula says, hi, Kuru, good to see you back. Likewise, Sakabula, came back last week, so hopefully this is only the start of many more live streams to come. And then Andre Dumini says, how's it, Guru? How are you doing? Who do you think will take this one? So I still believe that the Sharks can win this game, and even with the Dragons being back to full strength now, and we'll run through the Dragons side in just a short while. But it's definitely not going to be as easy as the Bulls game last weekend. This Dragon side will definitely come out firing today, and will definitely be a challenge to the Sharks side. But hopefully the Sharks have got their stuff in order from that terrible display of last week, and they can actually perform here today. Let's quickly go and have a look at this Dragons lineup. You've got Ian Davis at fullback, Jared Rosser, Adam Warren, Jack Dixon, Jordan Olalafella, Josh Lewis, and Rody Williams. So you already see the reinforcements there. And then in the forwards, you've got Greg Bateman, Elliot D, Leon Brown, Joseph Davis, Will Rowlands, Harrison Keddy, Ben Fry, and Ross Moriarty also back for the Dragons today. And have a look out for Ben Fry, who actually were one of the standout players for this Dragons side last week when they played against the Bulls. So it doesn't get any better. On the bench, Taylor Davis, Aki Suului, Masaki Dog, Hugh Taylor, Tane Basham back, Lewis Jones, Will Reed, and Jordan Williams. So plenty of firepower there for the Dragons as well today. So, we'll see how things go. Ethan asked, what is the weather like today? So from the looks of it, from what I can see, it looks like, I can't quite make out, but it does look dry at this stage. Obviously, should be a little bit damp underfoot, but it's definitely a little bit wet, although there's no rain. So it might have rained a little bit earlier in the week or in the day, not quite sure, but the pitch itself does look a little bit wet underground. So we could expect a bit better from last week, as it was raining cats and dogs last week, and the Sharks just wasn't able to adapt to the weather conditions last week. And hopefully this week they will adapt to it. Let's quickly see if we can pull up the lock standings for you guys while we at it. Let's see if we can pull that up for you guys, just to give you guys more or less an idea of how the standing looked like at the moment. So here's the top 8 teams at the moment. Leinster on top with 55 points. Ulster in second. Obviously, the Bulls playing Ulster tomorrow after the Stormers beat them. Very controversial, that last try that was not awarded to Ulster. Tapahenen, the guy in charge of the referee association for the URC, said that the try should have stood and that they will have disciplinary actions against, well, not disciplinary actions, but they will improve the workload of the referees going into the future. Then we've got Munster in third, Glasgow Warriors in fourth, then Edinburgh, which beat the Sharks last week with 43%. 43 points, sorry, not percent. Then we've got the Stormers, the Bulls, and the Sharks. Now, the Sharks have moved. They could have been in fifth place after last week's game, but they now moved up, well, down all the way to eighth place on the lock. So hopefully they will get back to winning ways today and improve again. So Sakabula asked, what does the crowd looks like? Anybody there? So there isn't a lot of people, but let's be honest, the stadium is quite big, and from the eye, it might look like there's not a lot of people, but there's a couple of people there. So yeah, it's definitely not going to be as many as what the Bulls will have tomorrow. Obviously, they dropped their ticket prices to 25 Rand per person, which is remarkable, and I wish that the Sharks will follow suit. We'll see the outcome of the attendance from the Bulls tomorrow, and hopefully they will move in the same direction as the Bulls did. Andre Duminy says, weather is nice here, no rain, I'm in Durban, so yeah, I hope the Sharks can pull it off. There, you've got it. So we're in for a much better game than what we've seen last week weather-wise. Right, so Ethan says, thanks, Andre and Guru Lad. No problem, Ethan. And Andre Duminy also says, pleasure. So, yeah, let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think is going to happen with this game. Also, do go out and vote. Shoot the Sharks via Sean Everett. We've got 76% of the people saying yes. So I might do a little video in the coming week about the whole situation with the Sharks. I'm just, as a proud Shark supporter all my life, I think I could possibly do it justice and just give a little bit of background into Sean Everett and how he became the Sharks coach and what the future plans for this union is and who could replace him if he does get the sack at some stage. But yeah, something needs to change at the Shark Tank for sure. I, for one, agree with everybody so far. It's not been very nice being a Shark supporter as of late. The rugby have not been brilliant, and it's been below par for a couple of seasons now. And although we're winning at stages, it just covers up what seems to be a massive problem at the Shark Tank at the moment. So, yeah, hopefully we will see the Sharks go from strength to strength in the next couple of weeks, and hopefully they can sort out whatever is going on at the moment there, starting with player selection, and one definitely being the likes of Curvin Bosch at fly off again today. So let me know what you guys think of Curvin Bosch at fly off as well, and how this whole situation is going with the Sharks at the moment. Sakabula says, as a Bull supporter, I don't want the Sharks to fire him. And yeah, I know you've got a lot more sinister reasons for that, Sakabula. So yeah, we'll see how things go, and hopefully somebody higher up is listening to the supporters and the fans all around, because like I said, it's it's not just me that feels that way. And I'm as big as a Shark supporter you can find anywhere around. So might not live in Durban, might not be from Durban, but I have been supporting the Sharks since, since I can remember. So, yeah, hopefully we can get back to that glory days when John Plumtree was the coach of the Sharks, and yeah, things were going a lot better. We are seeing some really good players coming back to South Africa. There's talks of Rowan Janse van Rensburg coming to the Sharks. We've signed Eben Etzebeth. So we've got plenty of good players coming to the Sharks and players that's there already. So hopefully we can improve from that. Trigger 707, can you show the game? Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to show any game footage, Trigger 707. I've done that in the past and I got basically banned from YouTube for a period of 3 months. So unfortunately, I will only be able to do the commentary of this game, and hope you guys enjoy it. So I see that Marius Lowe has been included into the starting lineup. So that means that Jeremy Ward will be moving out of the match 23 for today's game. Right, so that is good news for all the Shark supporters today. It means that Morris Lowe have been cleared and he will be playing for this game. So that is at least one good sign. Obviously, there's also talks of Damian Dialendi now leaving Munster at the end of the season, and he's looking for a South African franchise. I'm not sure whether the Sharks will be able to have Rowan Janse van Rensburg and Dialendi in one team. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see which way Dialendi might go. We might see him end up at the Storm, back at the Stormers, or who knows, maybe going back to the Bulls. We'll have to wait and see which way this is going to go. But it will be interesting to see where he ends up at the end of the day. Sakabula says, Guru, do you remember when Kevin Putt was the Sharks coach? That was also a horror show. Absolutely, Sakabula. So why I said let's go back to the day of John Plumtree was because after John Plumtree, we had the likes of Jake White there for a short stint, which was good. It wasn't bad. Yeah, we came to a point where we were really good contenders. Then Jake White left. We had the likes of Van Rensburg, I think, was also the coach at stage, and that was Brent Janse van Rensburg was terrible as well. And yeah, it was just a dreadful time at the Sharks. And then in came Robert de Preer Sr. It looked like for a second like things was going better, and then suddenly it also came to about that players weren't happy with what was happening at the union. And yeah, it's just there were so many things that went wrong for the Sharks, and one of it being John Smith becoming the CEO of the Sharks at the time. And he got rid of John Plumtree. A lot of people say that there was personal reasons behind that. And as good as a rugby player and rugby mind he had, he wasn't the suited guy for the Sharks. So yeah, hopefully we can get back to that glory days. I personally feel that we need a new coach at the Sharks. I personally would love to have the likes of Jerry Stonehouse at the Sharks. Obviously, that is a long shot. Brilliant coach from the Pumas, but any improvement on what we currently have will be an improvement as well. Let's quickly see. Antoinette Gerber says, hi, Guru, you can win every game with all my loving Stormers. And then Robert Faree says, what's up with England wanting to fire all South African players from franchise teams? Yeah, so it's all about the salary cap at the moment. And I think what Rusty had to say had a big influence on that as well. England Rugby basically paying for all the top players in South Africa. And yeah, we'll probably see a lot more South Africans come back. I personally would love to see them back in South Africa. A strong Currie Cup side, a strong URC side. It's just good to have them in South Africa. And that is going to be great to have them back as well. Ruan could see us his live commentary, also great. Thanks for the effort, man. Thanks, Ruan. And well, I did read yours, Antoinette. So there we go. Brandon Duplessis say, I see Eben is joining the Sharks. Yeah, Eben is joining the Sharks real soon. And then Sakabula says Ian Mack was the best ever Sharks coach. So he was a brilliant coach. I mean, if you go through that era in which the Sharks were absolutely brilliant, he was a no-nonsense guy. He didn't take any nonsense from anybody. Yes, Ian Mack. They do, however, say that he was the reason behind the whole smasher from the Sharks or from the South African players at the time. They would say he would just smash it up the whole time. So a lot of critics on that behalf, but I do believe that Ian Mack was a really good coach, and it's a pity that age took its toll on him. So yeah, we'll see. Robert Faree says you can't show it again. That would be copyright claims, which is right. Unfortunately, we're not allowed to show any game footage whatsoever. And then Bradley Stunder says the Sharks 35, Dragons 12 today. So let's hope that that score prediction will be spot on, as we would love to see the Sharks get a good win here today. It will definitely make my day after a very disappointing game last week. And he also said, if we don't play poorly, we will win 84-7. Well, that's a bit high, especially given the fact that a lot of these players that didn't play for the Dragons last week are back today. So I'm expecting a very tight game between these two sides, especially in the first half. And hopefully the Sharks can come out victorious today. It will be really disappointing if they can't deliver today. And a loss today could easily put them out of contention for the playoffs again. Although at this stage, I do believe that if you're not under the top four teams playing at home, at least you will not make the semi-finals of this competition, unfortunately. And we can go through the lock one more time because kickoff is still a few minutes away. So there's the top 8 at the moment. And as it stands, Leinster will play the Sharks, which would almost be an impossible venture for the Sharks to go and beat them in Ireland. And then Ulster would be taking on the Stormers, which again would be really hard for the Stormers to go to Ulster and win. Munster would take on, it would be the Bulls up against Ulster, and then Munster against the Stormers, and then Glasgow against Edinburgh. So which either way it goes, it could end up pretty bad for the South African teams. But we'll see how it goes. So let's quickly go through the team lineups one more time. The Sharks backline: Anthony Foreman, Werner Kok, Ben Tupaya, Marius Lowe back in the side. So that means that Jeremy Ward falls out of the match 23. Makazola Mapimpi in the left wing, Curvin Bosch and Jaden Hendrickse. Then the forwards for the Sharks: Pepsi Buthelezi, Jean-André Labuschagne, James Venter, Gerbrand Grobler, Leroux Roots, Thomas de Toey, Bongi Benambi, and Oxner Shear. Then on the bench, Kieran van Vuren, Tukan Tuna, Kuchamachuna, Renil Hiku, Sikambuza Noche, Sia Kulisi, Grant Williams, and Buddha Chamberlain. Then for the Dragons, we got Ian Davis, Jared Rosser, Adam Warren, Jack Dixon, Jordan Olafella, Josh Lewis, Roddy Williams. Then the forwards, Greg Bateman, Elliot D, Leon Brown, Joseph Davis, Will Rowlands, Harrison Keddy, Ben Fry, and Ross Moriarty. And you'll quickly notice, if you followed the Welsh team in the Six Nations, you'll immediately hear the likes of Elliot D, Leon Brown, Will Rowlands, and Ross Moriarty back in the side. Then on the bench, also the likes of Taylor Davis, Aki Sului, Masaki Dog, Hugh Taylor, Tane Basham back, Lewis Jones, Will Reed, and Jordan Williams for the Dragon side. So a much stronger side than the one that have been competing last week against the Bulls. Right, let's see. Robert Ferry says both teams with black jerseys as favorite. Do you know what color the Dragons will be playing in? So they are running onto the field right now, and they will be playing in white today, is the Dragons. Diesel Doring says Damien gaan seker Sharks toe ook. Hy gaan Monster verlaat aan die einde van die seisoen. And then Lodi Smith says 1927. So I'm guessing that the Sharks, you got the Sharks for the win. And then Diesel Doring says, Van Roos or Elrich low. So I'm a big fan of Van Roos, as you guys will know. And he completely outplayed Dwayne Vermeulen last week. So we'll see how Elrich low fares tomorrow. It's unfair to try and rate these players up against each other one-on-one. But I do believe that Van Roos had an absolutely brilliant game last week. And just, the way he's been playing over the last couple of seasons have been brilliant. And Elrich Low as well. I would love to see them in the same squad. Maybe Roos at 8 and Low at 7. That would be incredible as well. Andre Duminy says Sharks, John Plumtree, one of the best coaches Sharks had. Only his opinion, which I second. And we're almost about to get this game underway. Ben Blaine will be the referee for today's game with Marius van der Westhuizen as the TMO. Brandon Duplessis says that's true. He was what we need. And a good coach, we have a good team. Right, so it is going to be the Dragons to get this game underway, guys. So it is going to be the Dragons playing from left to right on my screen. And like I say, it should be a quite entertaining game. No rain at the moment. The pitch do look a little bit damp underfoot. So hopefully there's not too much slipping here today. Right, so here we go, guys. It's going to be the Dragons to get this game underway. And it will be the fly-off Josh Lewis, who's going to kick off this game for the Dragons. Right, here we go. A deep kick in from the Dragons inside the 22 of the Sharks, taken by Jean-André Labuskaghni. He takes it up to just inside the 22 for the Sharks. Still, Jaden Hendricks are waiting for this one to come out. A big counter-ruck from the Dragons, disrupting the Sharks ball there. But Jaden Hendricks has got control, and he goes for the box kick over the top. And he's found a decent touch here for the Sharks, roundabout on the 10-meter line inside the Sharks' half. So line out here for Elliot D and the Dragons. Right, so a good opportunity early on for the Dragons to set up some good first phase ball and work it through the forwards. Because I do believe that is where the strength of this Dragon side lies at the moment. Right, Elliot D with a throw into this line. It goes to Will Rowlands, taken off the back. Here they come, Elliot D again. Now it's Williams. Up it goes through Ross Moriarty up over the 10-meter line here for the Dragons. Now a little grubber kick ahead for the Dragons. This is going to be on a bounce. It's been taken by Anthony Fulm. Well, Makazola Mapimpi, luckily, 10 meters out from the Sharks try line. And a clever little kick there by the fly of Josh Lewis. Nearly working out for the Dragons, but the Sharks now have possession. Taken up by Thomas Latoy now for the Sharks, about 10 meters from their own try line, 5 meters from the right-hand touch line. Jaden Hendricks are now waiting for it, taking his time with the ball, gets it out to Kevin Bosch, who's going to put it on the foot, and it is going to find touch roundabout. That's a decent kick from Kevin Bosch between the 10 and the 22 of the Sharks. So the Sharks will need to be very careful not to be caught off guard here, but a little grubber kicks in behind from the Dragons side. A great little kick from Lewis there, nearly working to perfection there for the left winger, Jordan Ololafella. But Mapimpi saved the day there for the Sharks, luckily. So Elliot D now with the throw in between the 10 and the 22 of the Sharks. Taken nicely by the Dragons. Here they come again. It is again Lewis, gets it out to the outside centre there. Adam Warren, who takes it up now. It's Fry. Fry pick up and go from the Dragons just outside the 22 of the Sharks. Sharks have got them isolated. It seems like Thomas Latoy over that ball. But the Sharks have stolen this ball through Thomas Latoy now. James Venter out to Jaden Hendricks and now Makazola Mapimpi. He's going to try and run this from his own 22 between the 10 and the 22 of the Sharks. Now Grobler gets it out to Venter again. It charges his way up to just short of the 10-meter line for the Sharks. 5 meters from the right-hand touch line. Looks like Jaden Hendricks is going to go with a box kick here for Vanna Kok to chase. Right, here we come. Vanna Kok is chasing after this one. Roundabout on the 10-meter line, taken by Lewis for the Dragons. Dragons have secured possession here for them. And it is the scrum off now, taking it up. Brody Williams gets it out to the big forwards. Will Rowlands takes it up. Right on the 10-meter line of the Dragons now. It is Williams in possession, the scrum off of the Dragons. He gets it out to another big boy there, Joseph Davis, who takes it up for them. Now looks like Williams are going to go with the box kick over the top as well here for the Dragons. Chase now coming from Ololofela, but Vanderkok will try and get this. It comes back to the Sharks side, and it is taken up by Leroux. On halfway now, Jaden Hendrickson, Curvin Bosch out to Marius Lowe. Now here's Tupaya, puts in a little grabber kick for Anthony Foreman. He's got it, gets the pass out to Pepsi Butalezi, out to Makazola Mapimpi, up to the 22-meter line for the Sharks now. Quick ball needed, gets it back to Marius Lowe. He needs support now. About 10 meters out from the Dragons try line is the Sharks now. Can they get this ball back? Yes, they can. 5 meters from the left-hand touchline. Taken up by Oxnashire now. Almost right in the middle of the field now. Jaden Hendrickson, Curvin Bosch. Out it goes to James Fenter. Brought down by Elliot T. Just inside the 22 now. Jaden Hendrickson back to Bosch. Long cut up past the Vanderkok. Here's a chance for the Sharks. Cuts back inside. Just 5 meters out from the try line is the Sharks now. James Fenter takes it up again for them. Still 5 meters out is the Sharks at the moment. Quickly over that ball is the Dragons, and they win the penalty on the ground. It is Harrison Kenny who wins the penalty on the ground for the Dragons. Not releasing by James Fenter, unfortunately. Well, that is an unfortunate thing happening there for the Sharks. They were on a good attacking mode there. Good phases, build up. But unfortunately ran out of support play there was James Fenter. And it's a penalty with 5 minutes gone in this one. It's a penalty to the Dragons right on their own try line. Shark Brain says, Kevin Bosch again, is this coach for real? Is he blind? Is he ignorant? I don't know, Shark Brain. But let's see how it goes today. So far, the first 5 minutes haven't gone too bad. Robert Faree says, I'm not far from the stadium. The rain is coming down now. So I can't see any rain just yet this side, but it might not be clear on the television. Brandon Duplessis, I don't know. We kicked too much today like last time. Kevin Thomas says, hello, Guru. Thanks for the great stream. No problem. So it is going to be a lineup now to the Dragons around between the 10 and the 22 inside their own half. Right, throw in taken by Rowlands. Now, here comes Williams out to Lewis. Straightening the line was Ross Moriarty. Quick pop-up pass there to the inside center. Quick recycle ball for the Dragons. Taken back by Lewis. Now goes high up into the air. The chase coming from the Dragons. And it is going to be, let's see, a penalty to the Sharks. Players in front of the kicker. So the Sharks have an early opportunity here. Will they go for goal or will they kick for touch here? It is Fry who got penalized for being in front of the kicker. Yeah, so Thomas Tatoe have signaled that the Sharks will be going for goal here between the 10 and the 22 of the Dragons, more or less in the middle of the field. So an easy kick to come for the fly-off of the Sharks, Kevin Bosch. Shark Brain says, I know the Lions will give Edinburgh a hiding this weekend. And then Nick Boyd says, hopefully the TMO doesn't give this game to the SA this week. Yeah, last week was a bit of a controversy with that late try not being awarded to Ulster. Right, here comes Kevin Bosch now with the first kick of this game for the Sharks. Kevin Thomas says, seems Sharks are not clicking on yet. So much talent. Absolutely. Right, here comes the first kick attempt from the Sharks today. 7 minutes gone in this first half. And Kevin Bosch had the opportunity to put the Sharks into the lead for the first time in this game. Right, it looks good. It's a good strike, and it's 3 points to 0. The Sharks now leading here after 7 minutes of play. Looking good so far. Right, so the Sharks are setting up some good attacking phases and now finally getting the first points of the game as well through a penalty to Kevin Bosch. Right, so the restart now going to come from Lewis. Here comes the restart now from Lewis. It's a high-hanging kickoff just short of the 22, and it's been knocked on by the Sharks, but somehow James Fenter has managed to get it back, but the referee will now call him back. Hadron Grobler knocking that ball on in the air. So a missed opportunity then for the Sharks there. It's basic errors that needs to be cut out of this game. Scrum down to the Dragons just outside the Sharks 22, about 10 meters, 15 meters in from the right-hand touchline. Kevin Thomas says the Sharks lose last weekend. Guru missed it. No, I was doing the commentary. It was a really bad game. Barry says, I can see on your face you don't like saying Bosch's day. No, it's not that, Barry. It's just is so disappointing as of late. So big scrum from the Sharks this time, and they win the opening penalty at scrum time. And that's a big scrum from Bongi Mudambi and Oxnashire. Great work there from the pack of forwards. And Oxnashire is having a little scuffle there with one of the players. Well, again, so unnecessary. Discipline and basic stuff needs to be at the front foot for the Sharks side at the moment. And a massive scrum from the Sharks, winning that opening penalty. You don't normally see a penalty from the first scrum of the game, but yeah, great scrum from Ox and Thomas du Toit. Robert Free says, if there's refs are against SA teams in Europe, I think our refs can do the same. And then Stefan Lombard says, thank you for the good commentary. As usual, go Sharks, no problem. The Bulls are playing tomorrow. Just not quite sure what time. I will be setting up all that games tomorrow as well. Right, so the kick from Kevin Bosch is going to find touch roundabout between the 10 and the halfway line inside Dragons half. So 9 minutes played, and the Sharks now with another opportunity inside Dragons half, just inside. Bongi Munambi with the throw into this lineup. Which way is it going to go? It goes to the back to Jean-André Labuskaghni, more from off the back. Fenter now, Mapimpi. He's going to straighten the line up over the 10-meter line. Jaden Hendricks, quick ball back to Bonambi into a gap. Gets the offload to Jean-André Labuskaghni up over the 22-meter line. Now brought down right in the middle of the field, 5 meters inside the 22. Great little break from the Sharks. Now Oxnashire. He's going to set it up again for the Sharks. Now Hendricks out to Leroux Roots. Still coming as the Sharks now. 15 meters out from the try line. Kevin Bosch out to Marius Lowe. Marius Lowe beats the first line of the fence. Now about still 15 meters out. Oxnashire takes it up again. Now 10 meters out from the try line. Jaden Hendricks. Kevin Bosch out to James Fenter. Oh, he's knocked it on. Advantage here to the Dragons. They're going to run it from their own 22. But the kick from Lewis slices off the boot and into touch. So we will be coming back for the knock-on then from the Sharks. Basic errors not working out for the Sharks at the moment. Ross Moriarty saved the day there for the Dragons with a great tackle as well. But how about the little break from Bongi Munambi? Just a little pop pass there from Jaden Hendricks, and into the gap he went. Jean-André Labuskaghni running a little bit out of support play there inside the 22. Slow ball came back to the Sharks, and it does look like it is a little bit wet there on the pitch as well. But we need to cut out that basic errors if we're going to win this game. Right, so scrum down just inside the 22 of the Dragons, right in the middle of the field now. And let's see if the Sharks can put in another massive scrum here. Right, Brandon Duplessis says, so far, Sharks are playing a good game. Yeah, it is a good game so far. We just need to cut out the basic errors at the moment. Andre Dumini says, another scrum penalty. Here we come. Very possible. But don't underestimate this Dragons back. Playoff predictor, the Sharks currently having a 60% chance of making the playoffs. And if they do win this, their chances will improve to 75%. But like I said, they need to up the ante on this table, because you don't want to be go and playing against Leinster at home in a playoff game. Right, so another big scrum here from the Sharks. And this ball is going to come out for the... No, it's not. It's a penalty to the Sharks. Right in front again. And an opportunity maybe for the Sharks to extend their lead. Great stuff from the Sharks so far at scrum time. And the Dragons clearly not happy with the situation at the moment. The Lucet prop having a lot to say, Greg Bateman there. And the Sharks have opted to go for another penalty right in front. So shouldn't be missing this one. And the Sharks should be leading by 6 points to 0. After this kick from Curvin. So the Dragons been scrummed to pieces at the moment. And one of the areas where the Sharks are looking really good at the moment. I did say before the game that the Dragons' pack of forwards are a lot stronger than they were last week. But the Sharks are making it look very easy here. Benjamin Moore says, we need to win this game. And then Shark Brain says, I thought you were going to say 60% chance of losing this game. No. Johannes Oosterler says, Stan Thomas, good captain. Well, he still needs to prove himself as a captain, but so far so good for the Sharks. And he has been captaining the Sharks before, and he hasn't done too bad. But we'll have to wait and see. The Sharks are on the front foot, but points are vital as well. And it's still early days, so hopefully this pressure will be turning into points. I'm not even going to I'm not even going to put up your message there, Barry. All right, restart by Lewis then. And it's a deep kick in taken by Jean-Ray Labuschagne. This time brought down inside the 22 of the Sharks. Jaden Hendrickson now waiting for this one to come out. Gets it back to Curvin Bosch now. And he puts it on a boot. That's a massive kick downfield. Quickly thrown in by the Dragons, though, on a 10-meter line inside their own half. Lewis goes up high into the air, chasing after his own kick. Just short of the 22. He's collected it beautifully. Here's Lewis now, 5 meters outside of the 22. Here comes the Dragons. Will Rowlands out to Elliot D now. Gets it out to Fry. Fry gets it out to Warren, to Ololofela on the left-hand side. Back to Fry. Fry can't get the offload just outside the 22 now. Will Rowlands again. They've lost a bit of ground as the Dragons now to between the 10 and the 22 now. Here they come again as Warren, the outside center. He takes it up, not making any meters now. Ross Moriarty, tackled by James Venter, still between the 10 and the 22 now. They're going back now out wide. They go Lewis with a long cutout pass here. It goes out to the right winger, Jared Rosser, who makes a couple of meters for the Dragons. Up to the 10-meter line. Inside Sharks territory. They need to release this ball as the Sharks. They do get it back now. Williams. Out it goes to Will Rowlands. Dragons are losing ground quickly. But a penalty advantage coming for offside for the Dragons. Yeah, they are going to go back for the offside there. Is it an offside or a dangerous tackle? Let's just wait and see what the referee have to say. Yeah, it looks like it might have been an offside or not rolling away is the call from the referee. So penalty looks like it is going to be roundabout on the 10-meter line inside Sharks territory after 15 minutes of play. About 15 or 20 meters in from the left-hand touchline. So almost in the middle of the field here for the Dragons. Right. Let's see. Edrix de Hart says Chamberlain should get a call up. Shark Brain also says you must know if Guru don't want to put a comment, then it's bad news. Yeah, I think Barry is just teasing me a little bit because he knows how I feel about it. Andre Duminy says, I think the Sharks made the wrong call when getting the penalties where they should go for the corner, they go for goal. So although I agree with you, Andre, on a certain extent, I think the first penalty was right in going for goal, but the second one, we should have put the pressure on this Dragons side. But instead, it's Lewis who gets the penalty, and it's 6 points to 3 now as the Dragons hit back in this game now. Right, 16 minutes gone. It's 6 points to 3. The Sharks lead here, and that was too easy for the Dragons. 3 easy points there on offer for them. Right, 25 tackles made by the Dragons, 18 so far by the Sharks. So we'll see a moment the Dragons get a little bit more possession. There might be trouble. Rosser takes it in from his 22-meter line, the right winger. Lewis now waiting inside his 22, gets it out to Will Rowlands, the Welsh lock international. Still inside the 22, big counter ruck coming from the Sharks here. And there's an opportunity here for a counter ruck from the Sharks. Looks like they might get this as well. Now there was a hand in the ruck there, surely from the Dragons, but the Sharks now get it. And here comes Bongi Munami on the 22-meter line. Jaden Hendrickson out to Jean-Ray Labuskachny. Can he get the offload? No, he can't. Just 7 meters out from the try line. Here comes Pepsi Buthelezi. Tries to step Ross Moriarty. Couldn't do so. Now 10 meters out is the Sharks. Gets it back to Leroux Roots. He takes it up. Quick ball needed for the Sharks. Now Hendrickson out to Grobler. Grobler puts his head down and still 10 meters out. Right in the middle of the field now. Gerben Bosch. Out it goes to Marius Lowe. Gets the pass to Volmo. Pimpius dropped it into touch as well. But we are going to come back for a penalty, it seems, to the Sharks as well. Yeah, I think Andre Sabu is injured at the moment. Had a little niggle once and before the game got taken out of the squad. And then obviously there's also the debate whether he's going to the Bulls or not. So one have to wonder if that is influencing the call as well. But as far as I know, he is injured at the moment. So the Sharks are going to have another shot at goal here. But they are first going to go upstairs to have a look at something here. Might be... no, there's nothing sinister about that, surely. So just a penalty to the Sharks then for offside from the Dragons. And it looks like it's right in front again. So the Sharks should be taking the lead by 9 points to 3 now. And again, turning down the opportunity to get a try. But it's still early days. So the opening 20 minutes, I'm guessing the Sharks are trying to get as much points on the board as possible through penalties. 9 points to 3 it is after 18 and a half minutes played. Right, so can the Sharks keep up this momentum that they've got at the moment? As they are doing a pretty good job at the moment, but they need to put more points on the board. They can't allow the Dragons back into this game again. Right, Lewis with the restart then, and it's another deep kick in this time, taken by Jaden Hendrickson, and he's going to put it on the boot immediately, where it's going to find touch roundabout on the 10-meter line inside Sharks territory. So the Dragons will have an opportunity to attack from within the Sharks territory at the moment. Just one slip up here from the Sharks could earn the Dragons the lead if they score a try from here. But hopefully the Sharks defense are good enough. Possession so far going to the Sharks 59 to 41%, as well as territory 62 to 38. The throw-in finds the player at the back, Elliot D. Surely that was a forward pass out to Warren, but referee says play on. So up over the 10-meter line they go now as the Dragons. Williams gets it back now. Here comes a run from Kelly, who takes it up over the 10-meter line. Now Lewis again out to Moriarty. He's a little bit isolated. And Vanderkop quickly up over that ball. Did he win it for the Sharks? No, he haven't. Comes back for the Dragons. Now it comes out to the big prop forward, Greg Bateman, who sets it up for the Dragons. Just up over the 10 now. Lewis with another little grubber kick. And it's going to roll into touch inside the 22 of the Sharks. Round about 10 meters from the Sharks try line. Defensive line out coming up here for the Sharks. Kevin Thomas says, I'm a little bit disappointed the Sharks are not more dominant against the team. They have key players. It's not happening. So the referee, I'm not quite sure where he's from, but it is one of the European-based referees. Can't quite remember the name there, Johannes. Brandon Duplessis, look, if Sia Buta come on, then we score a try. Shark Brain says, so Sharks can't win without Lukanyam. We'll have to wait and see about that one, Shark Brain. But Lukanyam is surely missed in the Shark setup. I don't think Ben Tupaya has been that extraordinary for the Sharks so far. Definitely not, probably not what they were looking for when he came across. So more important now that we get the likes of Rowan Janssen van Rensburg or Damien Dialendi at the Sharks. Aiden van Vieren says, hi, crew. How's it going, Aiden? Hope you're well. 9 points to 3. Win predictor for this game currently at 88% to the Sharks, while 10% to the Dragons and 2% for a draw. Let's hope it stays that way for the remainder of the game for all Sharks fans. Right, Bongi Manambi with the throw into this line out, 10 meters out from the Sharks try line. They need to really set this up nicely. Jean-Andre Labuschagne takes it in, gets it out to Jaden Hendricks, and now Pepsi Buthelezi charging his way forward. Still about 10 meters out. There's the Sharks from their own try line here. Looks like Jaden Hendricks might be looking to find touch himself here. Goes for the box kick over the top. And he is going to find a really good touch. Roundabout. Well, let's just see where that went all the way to halfway. I'm guessing. Let's just see where the touch judge put up his flag for that one. We've had about 21 minutes gone in this first half. And yeah, that's a brilliant kick from Jaden Hendricks. So all the way up to the halfway line. Brilliant kick from the scrum half. Right, so Elliot D to throw this one in here for the Dragons now. And along to the back to Will Rowlands. Now Lewis gets it again now. Williams out to Lewis. Ross Moriarty up to the halfway line for the Dragons. Gets it back to Lewis. It goes high up into the air. Nobody really chasing after this. Vandercock has got it. Roundabout on the 10-meter line for the Sharks now. Brought to ground. Now Jaden Hendricks right in the middle of the field. Gets it out to Oxfordshire. Oh, he's knocked it on again. Basic error again from the Sharks. And that's the third or fourth knock-on now from the Sharks in the space of 22 minutes. Compared to the Dragons, maybe one knock-on so far. Really basic errors from the Sharks. Right, Dion Lecrancy says, hope Sharks win. And in Sakabula says, when the Bokke play, Eben will play. Eben will play for the Sharks in July, says Andre Dumini. And then Aiden van Vuren says, I love your videos. Thank you, Aiden. How far is Eben away from playing again, says Kevin? So he's currently playing for Toulon still. So I'm guessing at the end of the season for Toulon, he will be moving to South Africa. Right, scrum down here to the Dragons between the 10 and the 22 of the Sharks now. And a great opportunity as Williams feed that ball in for him. Taken off the back by Ross Moriarty, who gets pressure from Jaden Hendricks and knocks it on as well. So it is going to be a scrum down to the Sharks now. And this is just schoolboy errors from both teams at the moment. Just not allowing this game to really get going. But like I said, it is the pitch is damp and it is a little bit wet. Can't see whether it's raining or not, which doesn't look like at the moment, but it could be after humidity at the moment, causing a lot of problems for both teams at the moment. Sharks having knocked on maybe 5 times so far in this first half, with the Dragons maybe once or twice. Sharkbrain says, yeah, you won't see these guys are Springboks, really. Right, here comes the feed from Jaden Hendricks now for the Sharks. 9 points to 3, the Sharks lead here after 23. A big kick from that scrum to the Sharks. And the Dragons scrum are really struggling at the moment. Definitely struggling is Greg Bateman, Leon Brown, and Elliot D for this Dragons side, which is really, well, it's not a surprise given that you're playing against Oxfordshire, Bongi Mudambi, and Thomas Atway. And the Sharks have opted to go for another scrum and will be looking to try and get a penalty from this one. Really struggling at scrum time is this Dragons side at the moment. Right, so still about 16 minutes left in this first half, and we'll see how it goes. Johan says, evening friend, it is true that he told you coming to the Sharks. Thank you, making my night go Sharks. So I think that was an April Fool's joke. Johan, I haven't read much into it because the first time I saw it, I was almost immediate that it's April Fool's. So, yeah, I don't think that is going to be the case. Kevin Thomas says, why doesn't Robert the Pre comes back to the Sharks to cover fly-off and center? Well, he won't be a worse choice than any of the other two at the moment, I would say probably Kevin. But, you know, with all the issues in the past, with his father being the coach and all the issues that they've had around it, I'm not sure whether we'll see any Dupree play for the Sharks real soon again. Right, Jaden Hendrickson takes it off the back, gets it out to Kevin Bosch, who puts it on the boot, and looking for a 50-22, and he's going to get it as well. So a decent kick there from Kevin, which lands up over the 22-meter line, and that's a really good kick from him. Much better so far from Kevin Bosch today. Massive boot on him, and landed the full force on that one. Gets it up over the 22, and it's going to be a line out to the Sharks inside, 5 meters inside the 22 of the Dragons. Right, so let's see what Bongi Bonambi can do from here. Throw-in coming now. Sakapula says, think it's the coach and the game plan. It's a problem, not the players. Andre Dumini says, lovely, Cohen. Right, here comes the Sharks now. It's Jaden Hendricks that gets it out to Makazola Mapimpi. Makazola Mapimpi still about 15 meters out from the try line. Here comes Pepsi Buthelezi, takes it up. Quick ball now, Jaden Hendricks out to Gerbrand Grobler, who gets man and ball, unfortunately. Now back to the 22 they go. Tupaya straightening the line, tries the offload, finds nobody, and into touch it goes. It's going to be a line out to the Dragons, about 15 meters out from their own try line. So the Sharks now trying to play a little bit more expansive rugby, and unfortunately that pass just finding no one in the end. Right, line out taken by Will Rowlands now trying to set up a maul. They've lost the ball. Here comes the Sharks now, but it's Pepsi Buthelezi about 10 meters out from the try line, but he's isolated himself. And let's just see what the call from the referee will be. Oh, the players have stayed down, and it looks like Ross Moriarty in some serious problems now. It is going to be the medics who comes onto the field now. So I'm guessing that it will be a scrum down to the Sharks, around about 10 meters out from the Dragons' try line. But they are going to go upstairs to have a look at something here. And, there's also a high tackle from the fly-off. Josh Lewis hitting shoulder to the head of Pepsi Buthelezi there. So worst case scenario, it might be a penalty to the Sharks and a yellow card to the Dragons. And another easy 3-pointer, I'm guessing, for the Sharks then, if we're going by what we've seen so far. But it doesn't look like Ross Moriarty will have any more part of this game for today, as they are bringing on the card to replace him. Brandon Duplessis says Buta will play Bosch out of the Sharks, and then Shark Brain says Lukanya Arman Khaleesi normally creates space for Mapimpi, but it's going to be a long night for him. Achilles says, I love the Bulls team. I picked in Rugby Challenge 3. I have the ultimate team. And Captain Dave says, new fly-off needed, Francois Steyn or Hutch James 2.0. Butch James, probably. Butch James, for those of you who don't know, was one of my favorite players growing up. And I absolutely envied the way he defended, even though a lot of people were against his defensive tactics. For me, he was an exceptional fly-off. Right, Shark Brain says, please, not a red. I'm doubting that it will be a red card. I mean, worst case scenario, I think maybe a yellow card to the fly-off of the Dragons, but I really don't saw anything sinister on that. Francois Smith says, best April Fool's joke would be if the Sharks can't get a bonus point on the Dragons. So, yeah, no, look, Francois, it is a much improved side. This Dragons one compared to the one that played against the Bulls last week. They've got all their Welsh internationals back. And I mean, just to give you more or less an idea, with Ross Moriarty leaving the field now, they are replacing him with Tane Basham, one of the superstars or future superstars of Welsh rugby in Tane Basham. So definitely a much improved Dragons side as well. Captain Dave says, yes, Butch James 2.0. Sorry about the spelling error. And then Andre Dumini says, Andre Hubert was also a very well-oiled player. Absolutely. I think we had the discussion last week of who the best Sharks fullback was. and Andre Hubert, for me, were probably the best. But you can't back down from the fact that Percy Montgomery was there at the Sharks, Stefan de Blanche was there. So there were plenty of really good fullbacks in the time for the Sharks. But I think Andre Hubert must be awarded that crown for number 15. 11J says, hello, Guru, how's it going? 11J said, I am well, thank you. And then Kevin won't even make the Craven Week Shark team at the moment, says Shark Brain. And then Brandon Duplessis, the best player at fullback, I will say, is Fassi. Sakabula says, Butchie was a kamikaze. Absolutely. So I'm guessing that, Brandon, you're referring to current fullback. So Apelile Fassi is in great form at one stage, got injured, came back, found form in the last 2 or 3 games, one would say, and now he's down injured again. So, yeah, he is struggling to find form at the moment. Right, we're still waiting to get this game back underway. And Shark Brain says Dan Carter hated playing against Butch James. No, absolutely. I think he even mentioned it as well. And Kevin Thomas says, my biggest concern with Gervin is defending tackle, big concerns. So if it was only that, it would have been okay, Kevin, because we've got good cover defense with Maurice Lowe at number 12. But lately, it's been Kevin Bosch has been really underperforming in the kicking department and in the passing department, and everything just going from 100 to 0 in such a short time for Kevin. I think he lost all good form that moment we played in the final of, I think it was the Super Rugby final against the Bulls when it was still the last edition of Super Rugby, which he had an absolutely terrible game. And since then, he just haven't been able to find a form that he was in before. Shark Brain says, so Geland will get a call up this year. Jeremy Thompson, Dick Muir were great with Joel Strunsky, center combinations. Lodi Smith says, France Stein the best. And then whenever it is gone as coach and Kevin leaves the Sharks, will become the ultimate team. Right, we're back underway, and here's the scrum feed from the Sharks now. Jaden Hendricks waiting for it. Penalty advantage coming for the Sharks now. Here comes Tupaya, straightening the line for the Sharks. Still about 7 meters out now. Jaden Hendricks out to Pepsi Buthelezi. Still 5 meters out now. Jaden Hendricks gets it out to Bongi Bunambi, who unfortunately slips there and goes down to the ground. Still 5 meters out as the Sharks at the moment. Will this ball come back for the Sharks? It looks like the Dragons have turned this one over, and that will be a big let-off for the Sharks. Somehow it comes back to the Sharks side. Leruruts have managed to secure this ball now. Bonambi again. Still 5 meters up. Oxnashire pick up and go. Support play from Jandre Labuskaghni. Now Leruruts with the ball in hand. Pick up and go. Too high, unfortunately. Brought down now. Still just 3 meters out from the try line is the Sharks now. Another pick up and go. They need to spread this ball now. Looks like Will Rowlands might have stolen this. Now comes back to Oxnashire again. Right under the sticks. Look like his leg driver's going to take him over. And Oxnashire scores the first try of this game. Finally, the Sharks are on for the first try of this game. And it's the hard work of the forwards that gets the fruits here for the Sharks. 14 points to 3. And that is Oxnashire's 8th try of his career. Well, I thought it looked like the Sharks were going to blow this one again. It looked like the Dragons one moment turned that ball over, and somehow the ball spilled back to the Sharks side. And from there on, they picked up and went and finally gets the try right under the post. So Kevin Bosch shouldn't have problems converting this one. Right, so 14 points to 3. The Sharks now lead with about 10 minutes to go in this first half. The Sharks now in a commanding lead here. First try of the game, still needing 3 more for the bonus point. Conversion is good. It's 16 points to 3 at the moment. Brandon Duplessis says, come on, Shark, give us a try. Nice Sharkies. Now I'm happy. And 11J says, Shark should have kept Lionel Cronier on for a loan for a bit longer at least. Yeah, Lionel Cronier was playing some really good rugby at one stage, but again, he isn't the solution to the Sharks' problem at this stage, one feels. Right, here comes the restart from Lewis now. And another high-hanging kickoff taken by Grobler this time. Beat the 10 and the 22 inside Sharks territory. Right in the middle of the field now, Jaden Hendricks waiting for this ball at the back now. Going over the top of the box kick. Chase coming from Makazola Mapimpi right on halfway. And it is going to come back to the side of the Sharks. And it's Mapimpi who collects it after some sloppy play from the Dragons right on halfway now. Hendricks there out to Bosch. Bosch going for another 50-22 kick. This time it's going to bounce first and into the hands of the right winger there, Rosser, who collects it for the Dragons inside the 22 now. Now it's Williams waiting for it, gets it back now to the forwards. It's taken up there by Harrison Keddy for the Dragons inside their own 22. Williams waiting for it, goes for the box kick over the top, and he is going to look for a touch here, and he's going to find it roundabout on the 10-meter line inside the Dragons' half. Right, so let's just update that. It is 16 points to 3. Right, so the Sharks are looking to play a territory game at the moment, and it nearly worked out again there for the Sharks. Unfortunately, about 5 meters out from the right-hand touchline where the ball dropped the first time. Right, so the Sharks now with the line out on the 10-meter line inside Dragons' half. It's Bonambi with the throw in, finds Grobler. Maul set up by the Sharks now. 8 minutes to go in this first half. Of course, he seems to still be injured, 11J said. Right, here comes the Sharks now with the driving ball. Can they get this going forward? Dragons are trying to disrupt this at all costs, but here comes a penalty advantage for the Sharks. Jaden Hendricks has knocked that ball on, but the referee are going to come back for the penalty now to the Sharks. Shark Brain says, can't believe Bosch missed in front of the post last week and still gets the start in this game. Well, yeah, so far so good for Bosch today. He's not been playing too bad, but it is because the Sharks are getting some proper go-forward ball at the moment. Cameron Channing says, the last thing a player who's out of form needs is everybody giving them trouble and asking for them to be dropped. We all know how good Kevin can be. Back your boys. The problem, Cameron, that I've had in the past is we've backed him for so long, and you can only give a player so much chance as well, you know. I think he's had more than enough opportunities. But again, he's showing some class here today. Right, the Sharks now have a line out about 15 meters out from the try line, and it's Bongi Benambi now with a throw into this one. Taken by Jean-André Laviscafni at the back. The maul has been formed by the Sharks now, about 15 meters out from the try line. Still 6 minutes to go in this first half. Right, Sharks maul now going forward, around about 10 meters out. Now they need to still make this go forward. Now they get another good driving maul going, and the Sharks are going to the try line here. So close, and they should score another one here. It is Bonambi over for the try for the Sharks. And another great forward try from the Sharks backer forwards. Brilliant stuff. And it's another try to the Sharks. Brilliant stuff from the Sharks forwards. And I'm not sure whether the referee will go upstairs to check for any obstruction. But it looks like the try will be standing. And the Sharks now in for their second try of this game. And it's looking a lot better at the moment for them. Great driving ball there from the Sharks. And Bonambi and co right at the front foot of this game, taking it to the Dragons where it hurts the most, and that's up front, where they are deemed to be a lot stronger than the back line. Right, so conversion coming up now for Kevin Bosch. It isn't, well, it's not a difficult kick, but it is probably his most difficult kick of the day. Shark Brain says, Bosch seems to lose more confidence when you back him. 11J also said, will be interesting to see if Nkosi stays with the Sharks or sign with the Bulls. If he does go, maybe Sharks could sign Kobus van Beek again. Apparently, he is back in South Africa. So nothing against Kobus, but I think we need a standout player. You know, if we can keep Nkosi, the better. I wouldn't replace him with Kobus. Right, let's see what's going to happen with this conversion now. And that one is well struck, and it's going to go over. So the Sharks are now into a 23 points to 3 lead here with 5 minutes or 4 minutes to go in this first half. And it's looking a lot better for them. Andre Duminucci says Patrick Lambie was also a very good number 10. So unfortunately that he had to retire at such an early age. I don't think he would have stayed long at the Sharks. He probably would have played overseas, given the way that people were going. But yeah, he was a solid player for the Sharks. I see Sia Khaleesi is on for James Venter. It might be a permanent replacement going into this second half. So 23 points to 3 it is. The Sharks have retained ball after the kickoff, about 5 meters outside of their own 22 here. Jaden Hendricks have secured this ball for them. And it looks like he is going to go with the box kick over the top. Chase coming from Pimpy again on the halfway line. This time taken beautifully by Dragons. And they do have possession on halfway now. Gets it out. Williams, sloppy little pass there to Greg Bateman between the 10 and the halfway line. Williams have secured it again for the Dragons here. And it looks like he is going to go with the box kick over the top here for the Dragons. Chase is coming now from Rosser and Warren, but taken by Fulman right on the 10-meter line for the Sharks here. Looks like the Dragons have stolen this ball here, and here they come now. A chance here for Fry, gets it out to the outside center there, Adam Warren. Now back inside it goes to Jack Dixon, who's between the 10 and the 22-meter line for the Dragons now. Gets it back to Lewis. Lewis back to Warren. The inside pass from Fry to the fullback, Ewan Davis. Just short of the 22-meter line. Here they come, Elliot D. Out to Will Rowlands, puts his head down. Great defense there from Bongi Munambi. Now Lewis again. Out it goes to Dane Basham, who got bashed backwards. Now Lewis again. Here they come. Ololofela out to Rosser. Rosser up over the 22-meter line here for the Dragons. Now it's Williams deep quick ball here for the Dragons. So they're going to get it back. They do get it back. It's Leon Brown who takes it up over the 22-meter line. Now Lewis again. Out it comes to Rowlands. Rowlands up over the 22-meter line in the middle of the field here. Williams waiting for it to come back. 2 minutes left in this first half. Lewis again. Out it goes to Fry. They can't seem to get over the 22-meter line at the moment. Taken up by Elliot D again. Just short of the 22 now. Here they come through Tane Basham. Basham up over the 22-meter line now. Williams gets it back now to Dixon. The pass out to Ololofela. Here's an overlap for them. But the referee's going to call him back for a forward pass. And it is going to be a scrum down to the Sharks. 5 meters inside the 22 of the Sharks. Great work. Right, that is great stuff now. Great defense there from the Sharks. Not allowing the Dragons to really make too much ground up over the 22-meter line. And just that one pass from Jack Dixon to Ololofela, who went forward for the Sharks, luckily. Otherwise, the Dragons would have been into the corner for a try. Johannes Osterler says he was consulting the Sharks, but isn't anymore. Not quite sure who you're referring to, Johannes. Just trying to find out if I missed one so far. Right. Yeah, I think that is Patrick Lambie, if I'm not wrong. He was one of the kicking coaches at the Sharks as well, if I'm not wrong. But anyway, scrum down here to the Sharks. We've got about a minute left in this first half. The Sharks in a commanding lead here. And an opportunity to go into a really good halftime lead. Pierre Smith says, go Sports. Right, so less than a minute to go in this first half. 23 points to 3 it is. The Sharks leading with 2 forward tries. Great work from Oxnashire as well as Bongi Bunambi, the 2 try scorers for the Sharks so far in this game. Right, Jaden Hendricks to feed this ball. The end of the half is upon us. And another penalty to the Sharks from the scrum. What will they decide to do with this one? Do they kick it downfield and chase another try here? Surely a champion side would have kicked us into touch and set up a line-out. The Sharks have opted to go to halftime. Well, it says a lot, but let's not be negative. It is a good lead for the Sharks. They've mission accomplished in this first half. 2 tries in the first half and a 20-point lead. We should be in for a really good second half from the Sharks as well. So, yeah, I'm going to take a quick break, but when I do come back, we will be doing the second half of this game. So don't go anywhere. We will be back really shortly. Right, we are back here for the second half, guys, and really disappointing way to end that first half from the Sharks. One would have felt that they would have taken that penalty, kick it downfield, and tried to maul or drive their way forward for another try before halftime. But it's like it's been said right there, right now by not your everyday cultist. The way things are going at the Sharks, they're going to buy the whole Springbok squad, and because money is all they have, no passion. And let's be quite frankly honest here. The Sharks are not showing the passion of a side that looks like they want to win the competition. I mean, had that been Leinster, had that been even the Bulls, they would have kicked that ball into touch, set up a lineup, and attacked again. And it's really disappointing. We're trying to find positives all around for the Sharks side. And myself being a big Shark supporter, that is just an insult rather than an attempt from a side that lost pretty badly last week and having a much better game today, but just not showing that passion that is required at the moment from them. We are going to quickly go through the team lineup. Obviously, Jeremy Ward has been replaced by Maurice Lowe before the game. There was some issues regarding the clearance of Maurice Lowe, but he did make it and he started the game. Anthony Fulmunk haven't played a lot today. He's had to cover a couple of balls at the back, which he's done quite valiantly. So nothing wrong from his side so far. Vanderkok has been a little bit quiet to his liking. He's definitely stood out in an underperforming Sharks side as of late. Today, a little bit more quiet because they're working more with their forwards. Ben Tupaya, I don't think, is the solution for the Sharks and that outside berth at the moment. Maurice Lowe has been defending really well. He's trying to get go forward ball for them at all possible chances. And then Makazola Mapimpi has been quite involved. He's looked good when he's had ball in hand. Kevin Bosch today has been quite exceptional. A lot of faith was put in him by Sean Everett, and he's delivered so far, which is really good to see. A good Kevin Bosch on the day is always a good Kevin Bosch on the day, but when things go wrong, and more often than not, it does, he does get outshined on the days that it goes bad. So he is shining today. Let's hope he can keep it up for the remaining 40 minutes as well. And then Jaden Hendricks has been good at fly-off. His kicking game, his box kicks from the ruck has been pretty solid. He's made some good yards for the Sharks, and his delivery of the passes has been spot on so far as well. And he's been able to put pressure on a struggling Dragons backer forward so far. Then forward-wise, Pepsi Buthelezi, Jean-Ray Labuskaghni, and James Venter were doing really good. I know that Sia Khaleesi has replaced James Venter. I think it was a bloodpin replacement, not quite sure. Gerbrand Grobler and Le Roots are doing well at line-out time and really solid at scrum time as well. But the standouts for me so far, Thomas Letwe, Bongi Bunambi, and Oxner Shear has been really good for the Sharks side in this first half. And looking forward to a really entertaining second half from these guys as well. If you look at the performance from the Dragons so far, there's not a lot of standout players from their side. Adam Warren has tried valiantly. There's been moment for all fella. Josh Lewis trying hard, and Rhodey Williams have done well at scrum off for them. But it's in the forwards where they've really struggled so far. And Greg Bateman, Elliot D, and Leon Brown is getting hammered at every opportunity the Sharks get in this game. Well, Rollins have tried valiantly. Ben Fry has been really quiet today. Ross Moriarty obviously leaving the field due to an injury, being replaced by Tane Basham in that first half. So we'll see how the second half goes. The Sharks are leading by a good 20-point margin so far. And we'll see how things go. Shark Brain says, Guru, I will see you next live. I'm at a Bri. Thanks for the score and updates. No problem, Shark Brain. And thank you for the support as well. And then Not Your Everyday Cultist says, I myself a Stormer. I don't have any issues with the Sharks, but there's definitely not clicking at the moment with the side with the most Springboks. And in good commentary, I think I speak for all the SA team supporters. We all want to see the SA teams in the top four, but I doubt it. And we kicked off the URC so badly, so it will be difficult for our teams to catch up, which is true. And I mentioned it early, although we are in playoff contention, which is currently the case here, if the Sharks win with a bonus point, they will be going up to 6th place again, with the Stormers and the Bulls with a game in hand tomorrow. But as far as the playoffs, whichever teams end 8th will play Leinster at home. 7th will play Ulster, and 3rd Munster will play the team in 6th place. So it's not going to get easy if we are going to end in the positions that we are currently in. And realistically, I can't see any of those teams winning at either Leinster, Ulster, or Munster for that matter. So hopefully things can change. We might see one of the teams end up above Edinburgh at least, or Glasgow, and move into that 4th and 5th place, which would make it easier to see one of the teams in the semi-finals, which again will be really tough given the likes of Leinster and Ulster in the type of form that they are. But we will have to wait and see how things go, and hopefully one of these teams will surprise us going forward. But for this stage, I would say the Stormers and the Bulls having a better chance of upsetting this competition. But you never know. Johan Meisenheimer says Sharks will make playoff and go to the final, which could happen. Let's be faithful, but not with the current attitude. Here we go for the second half, guys. We are underway with Kevin Bosch getting the second half underway. The kickoff is a little bit sloppy from the Dragons, but they have secured it inside the 22. Williams secured it for them. And now it is going to be taken by the forwards and driven up to, just short of the, or inside the 22 of the Dragons. Williams now in control of this ball at the back, and he does go with a box kick over the top. It's not going to find touch into the hands of Pepsi Buthelezi on halfway. He's brought down by Tane Basham just inside the Dragons half. Now they go blindside. There's the Sharks. Leroux Roots takes it up to the 10-meter line for the Sharks. Now Hendrickson back to Grobler. Grobler driving his way up again to the 10-meter line as the Sharks now. Back to Kevin Bosch. Bosch goes high up into the air. Vandercock is chasing after this. It's a good kick. It's been knocked on by the Dragons, and it's going to be a scrum down to the Sharks here, right on the 22-meter line of the Dragons. Great pressure kick there. Great pressure being put on by Vandercock on that occasion. And the Sharks have an early opportunity here as Ian Davis knocks that ball on for the Dragons. He's been quiet and he's been very inaccurate so far for a fullback. The Bulls overtake the Sharks. I know this is biased as the Stormers, but I think the Stormers are looking for consistent and confident, and the Bulls are steadily improving. I think it's only a matter of time before the Bulls overtake the Sharks, which is the case. They've basically already overtaken the Sharks with a game in hand, So given the game against Ulster is going to be a tough one, but if they can pull that one off, they will be in the driving seat for the South African franchise. Right, here comes the scrum feed now from Jaden Hendrickson just outside the 22. They've secured it now. Kevin Bosch out to Tupaia. Tupaia is going to straighten the line for the Sharks here, just up over the 22-meter line. And another penalty this time to the Sharks, offside from the Dragons. And we'll see, it is a very kickable one for Kevin Bosch right in front of the post. So given the situation so far, one would feel that the Sharks might have a shot at goal here. Let's see what they decide to do. So, no, they are going to go for the corner this time, is the Sharks. So, guessing that the 20-point lead is good enough. Right, to the corner they go, about 15 meters out. So, not the greatest of kick, but at least it's fine touch here. Right, Daz says, Sharks be looking good today. And then Cameron Channing says, go for the corner and push for a bonus point. So Bonambi with the throw in finds Jean-Andre Labuschagne. The pass from him finding nobody, and the Sharks have lost a bit of ground. Now Jaden Hendricks out to Makazola Mapimpi. Still just inside the 22 of the Dragons now. Leroux Roots takes it up. Going in a little bit too high at the moment is Leroux Roots. Gets it out to Bongi Bunambi again, right on the 22-meter line in the middle of the field. The Sharks now. Pepsi Buthelezi, tackled by Leon Brown. Now Jaden Hendrickson, Curvin Bosch, a little stab through, but it's well taken by Ian Davis as he kicks that ball away, and it's going to find touch round about, let's see, on the 10-meter line of the Dragons, but Morris Lowe might be in trouble here. Playing the player in the air, maybe. Well, I don't think so much playing the player in the air, but it was a no-arms tackle from him. No, nothing sinister in that. He just went for the charge down, and that's fair enough. So Morris Lowe have been in trouble lately with his discipline a little bit, but nothing wrong with that one. So the Sharks will have the line out on the 10-meter line of the Dragons. Missed opportunity there for the Sharks as the line out was originally good, but the pass out the back was pretty sloppy. Right, Bongi Bunabi with the throw in on the 10-meter line now. It goes to the back to Buthelezi. Maul formed here by the Sharks now. Driving more set up, and it's going forward really quickly for the Sharks now. Bunambi and Oxnashire controlling this at the back here. Sharks are still moving forward now. Oxnashire breaks loose from that one between the 22 and the 10-meter line. Now Hendrickson gets the pass out to James Fenter, who is back on the field. Now Jaden Hendrickson, Curvin Bosch out to Tupaya, puts a little stab in behind, and somehow the Sharks will get this ball back right on the 22-meter line. Jaden Hendrickson now out to Jandre Labaskachny. Sharks have lost a bit of ground now. Jaden Hendrickson back to Bosch. Standing a little bit too flat at the moment are the Sharks. And quickly over that ball is the Dragons. They have won the penalty on the ground. Not releasing there from Curvin Bosch. And Dane Basham wins that penalty for them. So again, disappointing from a Sharks point of view there. Sharks, Stormer's brain says Sharks should be 6 if they win until tomorrow, maybe. Yeah, they will move up to 6th place with a win here today. But with the Stormers and the Bulls both having a game in hand, they can be overtaken by them. Right, the kick from the Dragons. Lewis is going to find touch between the 10 and the 22 of the Sharks. And now we'll see what the Dragons can do with it. Cameron Channing says, sounds like the Sharks are getting great ball out of the rucks. Hendrickson distribution on point. Yeah, they have been getting some really good ball, but on that occasion, staying too flat and being isolated on the tackle at the ruck and lost that ball in the penalty. So Williams now on for Davis as well, the fullback replacement. A little knock on from the Dragons from that set play move. It's Lewis who knocks it on, and it's going to be a scrum down to the Sharks here between the 10 and the halfway line. So basic errors, too much at the moment from both sides, really. Right, scrum down now for the Sharks here, and some more replacements as Sueli comes on as well then as a replacement for Greg Bateman for the Dragons. So trying to replace the areas where they've struggled really in that first half is the Dragons. Stormer's brain says Everett should go, but I said on the Sharks' Edinburgh game, Sharks will come back next week and look. No, that's true. And another massive scrum from the Sharks. This time wins the penalty advantage. Pepsi Buthelezi picks it off the back. Jaden Hendricks out to Vandercock. Vandercock up over halfway. Still going as Vandercock. Up to the 22-meter line and still going as Vandercock. He's going to run straight through for a brilliant try. Great individual play from Vandercock and some really, really poor defense from the Dragons. It never looked like anybody was going to catch him. It was a try that was scored that never should have been a try. But Vandercock just ripped that defense to pieces there. And a great try for Vandercock. Brandon Duplessis says, Dragons are not a good team. They are probably the worst Welsh team out of them all. But they've got some really quality players as well. But that was just really poor. Vandercock took it on halfway, beat the first defender, ran straight through all the forwards, then beat another defensive player for the try there. He beat Warren on the outside center. but showing some great gas there is Vanna Kok. Andre Dumini says, Vanna, you oyster. And Stormer's Brain says, we were idiots to let him go. So 28 points to 3 it is. The Sharks now leading the Dragons. And German Bosch with the conversion attempt to come. Johan Harting says Vanna always delivers. So he has taken some time to find his feet at the Sharks, but he has been playing some exquisite rugby this last season or so for the Sharks. Right, so the conversion to come then from Kevin Bosch. Let's see if he can get this one as well. Solid display so far from him. 11J said maybe when Neil Powell joins the Sharks, there should be a difference and hopefully things will improve. I forgot about Neil Powell, so I'm guessing that he should be taking over the coaching duties at some stage, 11J said. So the conversion from Curvin is good, and it's 30 points to 3. So the Sharks now just one try short of a bonus point victory here today. But some great work from Vanna Kok, beating Ololafella and then just running through almost the whole Dragon side there for the try. Ina Skitter says, Werner, ons eister. Right, so the restart then from the Dragons, a deep kick in taken by Jaden Hendricks, who puts it on the boot for the Sharks. Not going to find touch. And into the hands of Rossa now. Rossa up to halfway. Brilliant tackle from Labuskachny. And another great cover tackle from a Pimpy as they drive the Dragons into touch. But there is a penalty to the Dragons then. Not releasing the player on the ground is the call from the referee. Bongi Bunambi penalized there for that one. It's actually a deliberate knockdown, says the referee. So now Lewis will kick this into touch here for the Dragons. And they are going to set up a line out round about 5 meters outside of the Sharks 22. Yeah, 11J said, isn't he joining as director of Sharks Rugby? So yeah, he is joining as director of Sharks Rugby, 11J said, but hopefully he'll have the same type of influence that Jake White and Russie Erasmus have had for the Springboks and the Bulls. Right, here they come off the back now. It's Fry up to the 22-meter line now for the Dragons. Quick ball needed. Big and go from the replacement prop forward now. Williams. Out it goes to Dane Basham. Again, a great tackle this time from James Fenter. Now Williams. Out it goes to Elliot D. Now on the loop around. Another brilliant tackle from Marius Lowe this time. Dragons just not able to get up over the 22-meter line at the moment. Big tackle from Ritz and Thomas de Toy has pushed them back even a little bit further now. Dane Basham takes it up 5 meters outside of the 22 now. Long cut out pass, Elliot D. Tackled by Tupaya. Between the 22 and the 10-meter line of the Sharks now. Here they come again. Taken up by Dane Basham again. Dragons losing ground all around, but another penalty here to the Dragons. No clear release on the ground there from Oxnashire. So penalty right in the middle of the field between the 10 and the 22 of the Sharks for the Dragons. Right, Stormer's Brain says, I don't understand from Bosch, from playing school rugby to actually playing big boy rugby, and Sharks shouldn't sell Nkosi is a hidden gem. I agree on that one. We should do all we can to try and keep Cebu at the Sharks. Brandon Duplessis says that final take, Bosch out and bring Buta on, and in Sakapula, Shaman, did Vanna ever get his memorabilia back? So that is a really good question. I don't know what the outcome of that had been. I know in December, or was it early in January, he did post that he lost all his memorabilia. It got stolen. So hopefully he did get it back. So here comes the driving ball now from the Dragon. It's Elliot T controlling this ball at the back here for the Dragons now. Still 5 meters out. It has gone down now, and they will have to try and set this up now. Williams, the scrum off, waiting for it. And it's going to be a Shark scrum here. They can't get it out, so it is going to be a Shark scrum. And some great defensive work there from the Sharks on that occasion. Stormers Brain says Bulls will waste, and of course, no offense to Bulls fans. And then Johan Osterler says Sharks careful for yellow. cards, giving too many penalties. And then what happened to Huissen? Where is he? So Huissen is still at the Bulls. He's currently a kicking coach for the under 20 or 21 while he's recovering from injury, as far as I know, Stormer's brain. Right, so we just got an injury break to one of the Sharks players at the moment. So we'll see the outcome of the scrum in just a minute or so. Doga on for Brown as well. The Fijian international now on the field for the Dragons as well. The Dragons have looked good at some stages of the game, but just their inability to do the basics right at the moment has cost them as well. Andre Dumini asked, how much was the Bulls versus Dragons score? Something 55-20, I think it was, or 55-12. Yeah, 55-20 to the Bulls. Stormer's brain has just summed it up there for us. So Bannercock today, 4 carries, 67 meters made, 3 defenders beaten, 2 gain lines made. So very good contention for man of the match today. Johan Osterleur says, remember Robert de Preer was a good scrummy. Yeah, Robert de Preer Sr. was a very good scrum half indeed. Right, here comes the big scrum from the Sharks again. Jaden Hendricks out to Marius Lowe. He's going to straighten the line for the Sharks. Takes it up to about 10 meters out from their own try line. Jaden Hendricks with the box kick over the top. And here's going to find touch roundabout on the 10-meter line inside the Sharks territory. So another good clearance kick from Jaden Hendricks, who's also been a really good, valuable player for the Sharks today. Right, Stormers Brain says Cox shouldn't join the Springboks. We have too many wingers. He can also play centre. So the only concern that I've had with Vanna Cock over the course of the time that he's been with the Sharks, defensively, he's a little bit over-eager and tends to miss the first slip up in defense with the rush defense that he does practice at the moment. But it could be due to the game plan or the coaching from the Sharks, because I haven't seen that in a couple of games. So they might have changed that up again, and he is definitely a lot more solid than he has been in a couple of games before this. Really good season from him since the restart of the URC. Oxnashire currently receiving attention, who's also had a massive game for the Sharks at the moment. So scoring one of the tries as well is Oxnashire, and he's back on his feet as well. So this game will continue now. 54 minutes gone in this one. Sharks leading by 30 points to 3. Line out coming up for Elliot D and the Dragons on the 10-meter line of the Sharks. Line out stolen by Jean-Andre Labuskaghni now. Pepsi Buthelezi. He's going to split the defense into pieces. Up over the halfway line he goes, and still going up to the 10-meter line. Now brought down. Jaden Hendricks back to Kevin Bosch, out to Marius Lowe. Marius Lowe is going to put in a little kick over the top. The chase coming from the Sharks, but taken by Williams. And he kicks it downfield. Straight into the hands of Kevin Bosch now. Between the 10 and the halfway line. He's going to put it on the boot. Not going to find touch into the hands of Lewis. Lewis inside the 22 is going to put in the boot. And he's going to find touch round about 5 meters inside the half of the Dragons. An opportunity now for the Sharks again. Stormer's Brain says, I know, but the Alendi, Lukanya, Armin Willem says on fire at centre. And don't forget Francois Stein as well. And Johan Harting says the pack is doing a solid job controlling the game up front. Absolutely. 11J said, I think Sharks have already lost load to the Lions, but apparently the Alendi is linked to the Sharks now. If it's true, maybe Van Rensburg won't be joining the Sharks anymore. Well, they might end up both playing for the Sharks. Who knows? Right, here comes the Dragons. The Sharks have lost that line out. And a kick downfield from Dixon is going to look for the corner, not going to find it. The bounce of the ball, however, is going to be kind for the Dragons. And Pullman will have to put it down for a goal line dropout here for the Sharks. Johan Osterleur. Yeah, I think with Rory Cockett, he was probably one of the most underrated scrum halves in South Africa at that time. And I think that's why he left for France and got capped by France as well. So, yeah. Brandon Duplessis says Dialendi will stay with the Stormers and then Stein, but I'm keeping an eye out at the Cheetahs. Here's the restart from the Sharks. Not a great kickoff there. Collected by Rosser for the Dragons on the 22-meter line. Here they come now. Just in the middle of the field, the Dragons on the attack. Lewis gets it out to Dixon again, who's going to straighten the line for the Dragons. Short of the 22-meter line. Williams again gets it out to Will Rowlands. Oh, it's going to be a penalty for the Sharks here, as there's a high tackle. Well, what was that? A high charge in from one of the Dragons players. So, yeah, it's penalty to the Sharks. 5 meters outside of their own 22 here, and an opportunity to clear the ball from their own half. Right, here comes Kevin Bosch with the kick downfield, and he is going to find touch round about between the 10 and the 22-meter line of the Dragons. So another chance here for the Sharks. Yeah, so it was a neck roll from the Dragons that conceded that penalty on the ground for them as well. So 8 penalties conceded by the Dragons, 5 by the Sharks so far. Bonambi now with a throw into this lineup. He's going to go to the front for Gerbrand Grobler. Off the back, James Venter passes back inside to Bonambi. Knocks it on, and here's a chance now for the Dragons on the counter. Puts in a little kick, grubber kick behind. Taken by Kevin Bosch now. He beats the first defender, brought down by the replacement scrum off there. And the Sharks do have possession now, just between the 10 and the 22 inside their own half. Gerbrand Grobler takes it up for the Sharks again. Right, waiting for it now is Jaden Hendricks. Looks like he is going to go with a kick over the top. Who's going to chase this one? Here comes Vanna Koch chasing after this one. And nobody wanted it, and it comes back to the Sharks side. James Venter out to Jaden Hendricks, who puts it on the boot. Not going to find touch. Caught by Williams on the 22-meter line. But they are going to run it now. A little grubber kick over the top, but Marius Lowe's picked it up. And can he go all the way here for the Sharks? Couldn't get the support play here, but I think there might have been a deliberate knockdown from the Dragons in that pass. This could be trouble for the Dragons. Let's just hear what the referee have to say. Was there a little knock-on from the Sharks, maybe? The charge down from Marius Lowe. He picked it up beautifully. They needed support play, and there might have been a deliberate knockdown from the fly-off Lewis. So, would there have been a try scored by the Sharks? That is the question that the TMO will have to answer now. And we could possibly see a yellow card coming here for the Dragons as well. So, time is off, and they are going to go upstairs for this one now. Andre Dumini says Jaden Hendricks has played very well before his injury, and today he's been really good as well. So they are definitely going to go upstairs to have a look at this one. Stormers Brain says, I hope the 3 de Prius comes back to South Africa, but I butchered their names. So it's Robert, Jean-Luc, and Dan de Prier. Right, so would there have been a try been scored from this? Let's have a look. Charge down from Marius Lowe. Big set up. Cover defense coming in from the right-hand side. Oh, that could be a deliberate knockdown and a potential penalty try here coming up for the Sharks. Because the defense were covering up Marius Lowe. Nobody covering the defense on the inside from Ben Tupaia. So the question is whether he would have had the gas to have gone all the way for the try. There were 2 players on the right-hand side covering up, but I doubt that they would have had enough time to get to Ben Tupaia, who might have scored under the post there, but we'll see. Johan Meisenheimer says, our Sharks team is back after last week. We lost. We make this a bonus point win. Go Sharks forever. And Sakabula says, Cockett was in same time as Farida Priya. Bad luck. Yeah, same as Ruan Pino as well. Played in the shadow of Farida Priya for so long. Stormers Brown says Sale Sharks have a good team, but they don't deliver, which is true as well. Got the likes of the De Prias, they've got Faf de Klerk, and they have Louis de Jager and all those players, but somehow just couldn't play the Premiership on fire as well. Anima Weep says go Sharks. So I'm guessing that a try would definitely have been scored, and Lewis needs to get a yellow card. But that's the worst case scenario. Likely for the Dragons might be a yellow card and a penalty to the Sharks. But they're taking quite some time to deliver the verdict on this one. They could argue and say Rossa would have been back in time to stop Tupaya, but one have to feel that Tupaya is quite a big guy, so momentum could have taken him over. Kevin Thomas says finally Sharks getting momentum. So let's see what the call is. There's definitely going to be a yellow card. I don't have any audio, so I don't know whether a try will be awarded, but we'll see what the call is now. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a penalty try to the Sharks. So yellow card to the fly off Lewis and a penalty try to the Sharks. So that's going to be 37 points to 3 now. Absolutely great rugby from the Sharks when they get going. So with 20 minutes to play, the Sharks have secured the bonus point here. Josh Lewis gets a yellow card. Dragons down to 14 and the Sharks to 37 points to 3. Yeah, penalty try now finally being shown on the scoreboard from the Supersport side. Should be updated soon here on Flash Score as well. Right, so 37 points to 3, bonus points secured. The restart taken by Pepsi Buthelezi for the Sharks up over the 22-meter line. Jaden Hendricks are now waiting for this one at the back of this ruck here. He is going to go to the air, and the chase is coming from Mapimpi now. Almost up to halfway. The Sharks do get it back now. Jaden Hendricks, he's going to put another kick in here for the Sharks. And it looks like it's going to be another 50-22 kick here as Jaden Hendricks gets it up over the 22-meter line. Sharks put into this line out. And that's the second 50-22 for the Sharks side today. 20 minutes to go. And the Sharks now leading 37 points to 3. Everything going the Sharks' way today. Right, Johannes, I'm not in charge of the scoreboard, unfortunately, but they have now updated it. I see. So 37 points to 3 it is. Right, Bonambi with the throw in finds Grobler at the front. The pass back to Bonambi now. He's just about 10 meters out from the try line. A big counter ruck here from the Dragons. And it looks like they might have stolen this ball. No, they haven't. The Sharks do get it back. Van der Kok now at scrum off for the Sharks. Gets it out to Kolisi, who takes it up for the Sharks. Still about 15 meters out. Here they come through. Is Notcher also on the field for the Sharks. Bosch with a little kick over the top. And a chase coming, but it's Fry who picks it up for the Dragons. 5 meters out from their own try line. And Tane Basham now at scrum off here for them. Can they? Well, now they've finally brought on Reed as well for the Dragons, replacement scrum off, who's going to put it into touch roundabout between the 10 and the 22 of the Dragons. Right, quickly thrown in by the Sharks, however, and here comes Mapimpi now. Mapimpi, he's trying to find a little bit of space for the Sharks, can't do so, just short of the 22. Now Kervin Bosch gets it out to Fulman. Fulman got to Tupaya to Van der Kok. He's going to straighten things up for them, but he's lost it in contact, and here's a chance now for the Dragons. It is Warren, the outside centre, who's got possession for them. Now Reed needs to get there, and he does so eventually as the Dragons sets it up inside the 22 there. Yeah, it's Lewis Jones on there for Williams, and a kick downfield from the replacement fullback Williams as well. Finds touch between the 10 and the halfway line inside Dragons half. So 37 points to 3 it is at the moment. Sharks well and truly on their way to a good victory here today. Right. Johannes Osterloos said Buta can come on now. So I don't see Buta Chamberlain on just yet. I see Renil Higu's on as well. Notchan Khaleesi on as well as the replacement prop forwards and Tukamatuna. Well, no, it's not on yet. So here comes Pepsi Buthelezi now off the back. Sia Khaleesi. Jaden Hendricks at Tupaya. Loops around with Kerwin Bosch. Now Vanna Cock with a cutout pass to Mapimpi. There's a bit of space here for the Sharks as he straightens the line. Up over the 22-meter line they go. 15 meters out. Pongi Bunambi. Into space he goes. 5 meters out. Just a meter out now. Quick ball on another slap down from the Dragons. It's going to be another yellow card here. And we could see a potential penalty try again here. Well, no, says the referee. Deliberate knockdown. Yeah, they are going to go upstairs. So this could be another yellow card. And yeah, the yellow card already awarded. So the Dragons now down to 13 men. And a possible penalty try coming up for the Sharks again. Well, we'll see how this goes. Alfie Fisher says much better performance from by the Sharks. The Dragons are really suffering. So let's see what the call will be. Surely there's a try on the left-hand side. Nobody in front. Sia Khaleesi would have scored the try. So that should be another penalty try to the Sharks. Oh, Pongi Manambi hitting that gap like a true centre does. And from there, the Sharks would have definitely have scored a try. 3-man overlap in any case. One defender to beat. 3 players on the outside. That should be a penalty try. Sakabula says, I can hear the floodgates cracking at the moment. Bonus point already secured, Brandon. So this will be potentially the Sharks' 5th try of the game. Yeah, that should definitely be a penalty try coming up for the Sharks again. Yeah, the referee is going to award it. So the 2nd penalty try of the game comes to the Sharks, and it's going to be 44 points to 3 now. 2 yellow cards, and down to 13 men is the Dragons at the moment. Andre Dumini says, wrong calls last week. Agree, we could have won that game. Right, so 44 points to 3, down to 13 men is the Dragons, and things are looking pretty bad for them at the moment. Right, more replacements as Kieran van Vieren replaces Bongi Bunambi, who's had a storming game here for the Sharks as well. 44 points to 3. And here comes the restart now from the Dragons, taken by Makazola Mapimpio, who makes it up to the 10-meter line here for the Sharks. Now Jaden Hendricks out to Kerwin Bosch, looking for another massive kick downfield. Not going to find touch, however, into the hands of Rosser, who puts it on the boot there for the Dragons. Taken by Anthony Foreman, who's going to put in a little grabber kick over the top. But, Eddie looks like he could nearly have gotten his own ball, but it does come back to the Dragons just short of halfway line. Right, so now the Dragons with 2 men down trying to make some ground through Elliot D here between the 10 and the halfway line. Pick up and go from Tane Basham. Tries to get the pass out to Dogger. He takes it up just short of the halfway line. Oh, and a penalty to, is it going to be a penalty to the Dragons or just going to be a scrum down as Thomas Tatoe found himself in an offside position, but he did stay down after an injury. So we'll have to wait and see whether it's going to be a penalty to the Dragons or not. So Thomas Tatoe, captaining the Sharks side today, have now stayed down injured for the Sharks. Some great work there again from Thomas Tatoe, trying to steal that ball on the ground. And then Doga came to take him off the ball. Was it done legally, though? That's the question. So we currently do have an injury break to the Sharks at the moment, but it's not looking great for the Dragons at the moment. There is about 15 minutes to go, Mursabas. So 15 minutes to go in this one. 44 points to 3. The Sharks leading. 2 penalty tries awarded in this game already. And discipline from the Dragons have been really poor today. And they are going to go upstairs to have a look at something, it seems. Or are they? I'm not quite sure. It looks like the referee might be looking at something here. Andre Dumini says, Guru, love your commentary. Thanks, Andre. Really appreciate it. Johannes Osterler says, Yabas, 101 votes, more likes. So we do have about 160 votes. 65% of the votes says that Sean Everett should still be fired, while 35% says no. Sharks really need to address the little issues that they have at the moment, but there's definitely some improvement this week from the Sharks side. But is it good enough? Leave your vote there and let me know. Stormers Brand says, stop, you were so cocky last weekend after Sharks lost and now you're happy chappy. Yeah, no, look, Mursabas is a big Stormers fan and very passionate about the game. So I'll give him that one. Much better performance from the Sharks, but I still don't feel that it's on par to become champions in this competition. Not nearly enough. Right, so 15 minutes to go. It is going to be a penalty to the Dragons for offside from Thomas du Toit, it seems. Now, in fact, it is going to be a scrum down. So only a scrum then to the Dragons. Roundabout on the 10-meter line inside their own half. As Grant Williams are also on the field for the Sharks. And let's see if Putta Chamberlain is also on the field. Can't quite make out, but the whole front row has been replaced. Thomas du Toit having a solid game here for the Sharks today. Kucha Matuna and Tuka Matuna all on the field as well. Now, Kevin Bosch is still on the field. I don't know if Putta maybe have dropped back to fullback, but I'm guessing that he's still the only replacement left to go. Dane Basham picks up off the back, nearly up to the halfway line for the Dragons. Now some go-forward ball here for them. Still playing inside their own half, though. Now they do get the kick away, high up and under, coming up. Chase coming from the Dragons, but it's well taken by Foreman. And now Foreman trying to set this up for the Sharks between the 22 and the 10-meter line inside their own half. Kieran van Vuren takes it up for the Sharks as well. Grant Williams waiting for this ball. Good counter ruck here from the Dragons. And it might be stolen for them as well. No, it does come back to the Sharks side, just outside their own 22. Kevin Bosch now scrum off, gets it out to Ntuka Matuna. Takes 2 Dragon defenders to bring him down. Remember, the Sharks do have a 2-man advantage at the moment. Grant Williams back to Bosch, puts in a little chip kick over the top. It's chased down by the Sharks, but beautifully collected by the Dragons between the 10 and the halfway line. Still, Dane Basham comes, gets the pass out to Williams. Dragons playing backwards at the moment here, as it is Dixon who takes it up for them now, taken up by the flanker as well, still trying to work their way forward, but going backwards at all costs. Will Rowland's making a good couple of meters for them as well. Now the kick downfield from the Dragons, it's all they can do at this stage. It's collected by Makazola Mapimpi now. He's going to try and have a run here, almost up to the 10-meter line of the Sharks, now brought down. Grant Williams needs to get this out. Crawler out, it comes to Sia Khaleesi. He needs support now. Sharks are just being sloppy at the moment. Now Bosch, Anthony Foreman overlap here for the Sharks as it goes through the hands to Paya. Tupaya gets it out to Anthony Foreman, back on the inside. It's going to be another try to the Sharks here. And this should bring up the 50-pointer for the Sharks today. Try time to Anthony Foreman. And with 13 minutes to play in this one, 49 points to 3 with the conversion to come. Anthony Foreman getting his 7th career try. as the Sharks are now looking to put up 50 beyond this Dragon side today. Two-man overlap, and Tupaia deciding not to go to Vanderkok, back on the inside to Anthony Foreman, who had too much gas and scores the try under the sticks. Stormers Brain says Sharks are better than Bulls. It's easy as that. And then the paperwork for Etzebeth ain't done, but I hope he joins the Sharks. No, he is definitely joining the Sharks. Is Etzebeth, so definitely will be joining them. Right, so the conversion from Bosch goes over, and it's 51 points to 3. The Sharks now over the Dragons, and they still got 2 yellow cards to compete with as well. Nearly lost that ball was Anthony Fulman. But let's see where it comes. 51 points to 3 at the moment. Stormers Brad says, congrats. Then I'm quite disappointed, but I'm happy for the Sharks. Right, so Lewis is back on the field, so only down to 14 men on the Dragons now, with about 11 minutes to play in this one. 51 points to 3. And the restart then from the Dragons, collected by Pepsi Buthelezi, who's also been solid for the Sharks today. Takes it up, just up over the 22 for them. Grant Williams now waiting for this ball, taking a bit of time getting that one out. Grobler now, Foreman, running from inside the 22 as the Sharks nearly intercepted by the Dragons, but it's Vanderkok who gets away with it. Up to the halfway line goes the Shark. Grant Williams, he needs to go all the way. He is going to get there. No, says the referee. It is knocked on by the Sharks, and we are going to come back all the way there for a scrum down to the Dragons. Yeah, the pass out the door, knocked on by Tupaia, unfortunately, inside the 22. But what a great run there from Vanderkok again, who's been brilliant for the Sharks today. Well, one could argue and say there was no knock on, but we'll give that one to the referee for not... No, in fact, it wasn't a knock on. There was a foot in touch by Vanderkok, but I couldn't see that. I didn't really look for anything, but it looked like he was still in play. But it is going to be a line out to the Dragons, right about on the 10-meter line of the Sharks. Right, here they come now. Tane Basham gets it out. Here comes the run from Lewis, tackled by Marius Lowe. Great defense from the inside center as well. Now Dixon for the Dragons trying to secure this ball. Still playing backwards now. Dogger takes it up for the Dragons, making a couple of meters. Now Tane Basham gets the pass out up to the 22-meter line they go. But there's a little knock on from the Dragons and a chance now for the Sharks. Quick ball needed now. Here comes Kevin Bosch from inside the 22. Can he go all the way? There's a little kick ahead from Kevin Bosch. The bounce of the ball is good. The pass inside to Notche. Notche passes it to Grant Williams and he's knocked it on. 10 meters out from the try line. Unfortunate there for the Sharks. And some really exciting play here from the Sharks at the moment. Unfortunately, that last pass to Grant Williams, just not unable to collect that ball. Great little chip kick over the top from Bosch, recollected it, got the pass out to Notche, and then the pass from Notche, not the greatest, and Grant Williams knocks it on. 51 points to 3 with a couple of minutes to go in this one. 8 minutes to go in this game, and unfortunately, as good as Bosch was today, he still against me, Mursabas, unfortunately. It's Sikumbuza Notche, Stormers Brain. The replacement flanker, number 8 for the Sharks. Used to play for the Stormers as well. Brandon Duplessis, Esterzais, and Sharks missed him. Will like if he's back. Right, here's the scrum from the Dragons. It's sloppy off the back, but Tane Basham has managed to collect this for them. Pick up and go from Fry, and still about 15 meters away from their own try line, trying to work it with the forwards at the moment is the Dragons. Not the wisest of decisions. Now they do get it out to Williams, who's going to put it on the boot and not going to, he is going to find touch round about between the 10 and the 22-meter line. So not the greatest of kicks, but he managed to get it into touch for them. And I'm guessing that there's still time left on that yellow card at the moment for the Dragons. 51 points to 3 it is at the moment. And Bosch now leaves the field after a solid display today by the under fire number 10, as Buta Chamberlain will get 7 minutes to prove his worth. Such an unfair decision to give him so little time. I was hoping to see a little bit more of him today. But anyway, Kieran van Vuuren to throw this ball in for the Sharks. Grobler takes it now. Grant Williams out. It comes to Vanna Koch. Takes 2 defenders with him. Just short of the 22 now. Notcher up to the 22-meter line for the Sharks. Another pick up and go from Ranil Hugo. Driven back in a tackle though. Now Tuka Machuna. Pick up and go from him. Not making any ground. Right in the middle of the field on the 22-meter line. Now Kieran van Vuuren takes it up for the Sharks as well. Slow ball coming back for the Sharks. Now Williams out to Chamberlain. Now to Paya. Out to Mapimpi. He cuts back inside. Still about 10 meters out. Grant Williams out to Tuka Machuna. Machuna now taking 3 defenders to bring him down, which they eventually do. Now Grant Williams back to Notcher. Now Notcher, a little bit isolated, and it's been turned over. No, it's been knocked on by the Dragons. Thumping tackle from Will Rowlands on Buta Chamberlain. And they've lost possession as the Sharks now to kick downfield from the Dragons. And the ball is rolling all the way to between the 10 and the 22 of the Sharks. Great work again from Tane Basham, one of the future stars of the Welsh Union. Massive tackle from Will Rowlands on poor Buta Chamberlain there. Tried to throw a little dummy. Rowlands never fell for it and bashed him back in the tackle. Right, so 13 lineouts won by the Sharks, 0 lost. 10 lineouts won by the Dragons, 2 lost from them. As Kieran van Vuuren fizzes in, finds Grobler, and the Sharks now got a driving maul going on here from their own 10-meter line. Kieran van Vuuren controlling this for the last 5 minutes of this game at the moment. It's taken off the back by Kieran van Vuuren, a little bit isolated though. And the Dragons make the tackle on him on the 10-meter line. Now Grant Williams, slow ball coming back for the Sharks. Now Kucha Machuna takes it up for the Sharks to between the 10 and the halfway line here. Grant Williams' service just way too slow. Goes to the box kick over the top here, and Vandercock chasing it down. Oh, Vandercock might have been pushed there, but play on, says the referee. Into the hands of Williams now. He throws a little dummy, goes on the run here. The replacement fullback up to the 10-meter line now, gets it out to Reed, who puts it on the boot. Here comes the chase from the Dragons now. This could be, no, there's a cover defense for them, and it's Buta Chamberlain who's going to get the kick away for the Sharks. And he finds touch just outside the 22 of the Sharks. Good cover kick there from him after a lot of pressure from the Dragons. Who are the Lions playing? Yes, they are playing Edinburgh, Stormers Brain. Should be a really good game, that one as well. And then obviously the big one, the Bulls versus Ulster, is going to be another massive one. And then the Ospreys, probably the best Welsh team in this competition, up against the Stormers as well tomorrow. Right, little injury break at the moment to one of the Dragons players, but a commanding win here for the Sharks today. 51 points to 3 with about 3.5 minutes to go in this one. Can they add to that? Can they keep the Dragons out? Don't allow them to score any more points in this game. We'll have to wait and see. But a good performance from the Sharks today, but they definitely need to do a lot better than that. Right, so Morris Lowe receiving some attention here for the Sharks as well. One of the players that might be lost here for the Sharks. given the time and the players that they are looking to get. So Rowan Janssen van Rensburg been linked to the Sharks, and there's also the possibility of Damien Dialendi maybe coming to the Sharks. But although nothing has been confirmed or denied, we'll have to wait and see which way Dialendi does sway. But Rowan Janssen van Rensburg are definitely in talks with the Sharks at the moment. All right, Bonambi's had another. That's just showing some replays of Bonambi today. Has been quite exceptional. A lot of these Sharks players have put their hands up for a man of match performance today, with Vanna Kok being brilliant, Bongi Bonambi, Oxner Shear, the likes of Pepsi Buthelezi has been brilliant, Thomas de Toy has been good, Herman Grobler has been good, but I think it's Bonambi who I think has been called as the man of the match for today's game, which is brilliant. Right, so the throwing coming now from the Dragons just outside the 22, collected by Rollins. Now off the back they come now. Here's a little chip kick over the top. Will this work out for him? Nearly does, but Mapimpi has secured the ball for the Sharks about 10 meters out from their own try line. And now in possession is the Sharks here. Will they get this ball back though? It's very sloppy at the breakdown at the moment from the Sharks as well. Will they get it back? Yes, they will. Gets it out to Kucha Machuna. Tackled by Dogger. Sharks now gets it back to Buta Chamberlain, who puts it on the boot. And again, no, only going to find touch. Well, that's actually a really decent kick from him. All the way between the 10 and the 22 of the Sharks. So a good clearance kick again from him as well. See, Kevin Bosch is back on the field. So maybe in the place of Anthony Foreman is Kevin Bosch at the moment. Well, let's see the line out now to the Dragons with about 2 minutes to go in this one. Goes over the top and nobody wants that, but it's not sure who gets it for the Sharks in the end. Now Khaleesi takes it up to the 10-meter line for the Sharks. Quick ball needed. Grant Williams, Buta Chamberlain out to Vanna Kok again. Gets the pass out to Bosch. Now Mapimpi puts it on the boot, but it slices off the right-hand side of the boot and collected by the Dragons between the 10 and the 22. But the Sharks have snatched this. Here's a chance for them if they move it wide. You go out to Khaleesi, and now it's an advantage to the Sharks. A little knock-on from the Dragons off that pass from Khaleesi. Now put the Chamberlain. Gervin Bosch again out to Tupaya. Cut out pass to Mapimpi. Sharks are roundabout between the 10 and the 22-meter line. Penalty advantage, I think, coming for the Sharks at the moment. Grant Williams gets it out to Grobler. Now Chamberlain again to Hijo. Sharks have lost ground up to the 10-meter line inside the Dragons' half. Now comes back for Buta Chamberlain. Puts it on the boot. A little kick out. And it's not going to find any Sharks player. We're coming back for the penalty between the 10 and the 22 of the Dragons, right in the middle of the field with about a minute to go. Right, so the Sharks trying to play as expansive as possible here and just not getting over that advantage line at the moment, but they are going to kick this to the corner, and let's see if they can score one more try before the end of this game. Buta Chamberlain to put this into the corner here for the Sharks, and he is going to find touch around about 10 meters out from the Dragons try line. Right, so which way is this going to go? The last movement of this game for sure, as Kieran Panfiran will throw this in for the Sharks now. Goes to the back to Pepsi Buthelezi. Sia Khaleesi off the back. He now straightens it up for them. Still about 10 meters out, right in the middle of the field. Another penalty advantage coming for the Sharks. Now Tuka Machuna taking it up for them. Driven back in the tackle there. Now Grant Williams out to Buta Chamberlain. Knocked on by Kevin Bosch. But we are coming back for another penalty to the Sharks. Right in the middle of the field. Already secured the bonus point. What will they do with this? Kick to the corner and set up one more try. What will the decision be here for the Sharks? So Puta is going to put it to the corner again here for the Sharks. And I'm glad to see that they're actually going for touch and not just going for goal here towards the end. Right, kick to the corner, 5 meters out from the try line. And hopefully the Sharks can add another try. Johan Meisen says, dankie vir die Rugby Guru, lekker slaap vanaand, ek gaan lekker slaap, Sharks het gewen. Yep, I'm going to second that, Johan. It's always good to see the Sharks win, but the problems are not solved yet. Yeah, Karen van Vieren with a throw in to the back. They go sloppy off the back, collected by Dane Basham. And the Dragons now just going to put this into touch and end the misery for the evening. 51 points to 3. It's a good performance from the Sharks, but still a lot of work to be done if they're even going to be close to title contenders. Right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary today. A good victory for the Sharks in the end. And yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow for the 3 remaining South African games. The Lions up against Edinburgh, the Stormers up against the Ospreys, and the big one, the Bulls, up against Ulster as well. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in. But until next time, cheers